haven't talked about Black Ops for the last couple of days. It's kind of kept us a little preoccupied from things that may be happening outside of Black Ops 4, but in the Call of Duty universe. And while Black Ops 4 is the main focus, still obviously as the main content source here for all players, there has been something swirling around and the rumor mills have been in full effect that I want to discuss and talk to you guys a little bit about, because I'm still getting some comments here and there about it and some few tweets. So I figured, you know what, why not put my perspective and input out there on the recent air quote information that's come out in relation to the rumors of Modern Warfare 4. So right off the bat, yes, I know I'm a little bit late to the party here at this one, but again, being a little busy over the past couple of days, plus I want to give you guys some input on some things that I don't know if anybody else has really talked about and kind of dig a little bit deeper as well. So maybe at the surface, you might have heard some of the information we're going to be discussing a little bit already, but I want to give you guys some different input and perspective perhaps, plus also add on to a little bit of stuff that might give you some hope for what's coming up. Now, it might be very possible you missed it, but if you're wondering, well, where's this Modern Warfare 4 stuff coming from to begin with? We actually detailed this last week. You can check it out on the channel if you missed that, the full video, but we basically detailed everything there really was to discuss about the possibility of a Modern Warfare 4 versus a Ghost 2 versus an Infinite Warfare 2 versus the idea of a brand new IP that Infinity Ward would potentially introduce for COD 2019 coming later this fall. But naturally, as people started to hear the reports that it's likely not going to be Ghost 2 and that Modern Warfare 4 is a safe bet for what may be either for sales reasons or also recapturing some of that old fan base, doesn't really matter, but people have been taking this and kind of running with it and hoping to dupe people left, right, and center. So as of recently, there were two images circulating and claiming validation for the status of Modern Warfare 4 leaks, claiming to be official sources of information and things that we'd see well ahead of when we should, but we're gonna break them down here in this one and give you the possible real follow-ups and counterpoints that legitimately point towards whatever Infinity Ward is working on and have up their sleeves next. So starting out with the first image, again, one of two. Truthfully, I have zero idea where this originated from or who spread it first. There was absolutely no way to corroborate this and cross-reference to see if any of this information matches up, and the way it's written is so poor. But regardless, I'll give you the information here at this one. It says, firstly, the game is constructed as follows: campaign, multiplayer, zombies, and battle royale. Number two, it contains no new campaign story. The single player is a remaster of Modern Warfare 2's campaign, excluding no Russian, and possibly the Modern Warfare 3 campaign will be added later. 3 says, similar to Treyarch Black Ops 4, Infinity Ward Modern Warfare 4 will be heavily focused on the multiplayer aspect of the game. Fan favorite maps from the Modern Warfare series will be coming back alongside new maps and weaponry. 4, Modern Warfare 4 Battle Royale will contain iconic characters from the old series, including Call of Duty Ghosts. Craig Fairbass, for number 5, will voice the main announcer in multiplayer alongside a couple of characters in the Battle Royale mode. 6, Modern Warfare 4's Battle Royale map will be similar in size to Treyarch's Blackout, but nearly 45% of the map will be covered in snow, which players can use snowmobiles for transportation in that area. 7, Modern Warfare 4 will introduce specialists for the first time in the series. 8, the Pick 10 system is a class building feature in Modern Warfare 4. 9, Modern Warfare 4 is the finale of the series. So here's a couple of glaring issues that I have here at this one. One of the telling signs of a fake is how vague it really is, and this is the vaguest thing I've seen yet, I think, in terms of fabricated leaks. The way I see it, Craig Fairbrass was introduced to this because he was a voice actor, and it's kind of like, hey, let's throw his name out there. The Pick 10 system being something that returns is kind of something we could infer, as it's been such a staple of Call of Duty in the past. Saying that multiplayer will be heavily focused on is one of the most no-brainer statements I've ever seen, considering that, no offense to if your favorite mode is a different mode, multiplayer is what pulls the majority of players year-round. The idea that specialists are going to be introduced into Modern Warfare 4 is something that is kind of, again, a no-brainer to think about, while I don't necessarily think it will happen or that I don't want it to happen, with a hero-esque type of character every single year, excluding World War II with an asterisk sense, and Modern Warfare Remastered not being the main title. We've had an operator or specialist of some sorts for the past 3 of 4 titles in main years. So to me, this air quote leak offers up absolutely nothing of substance or anything that really has any validity behind it. It's kind of just thrown out there to be like, hey, I got information on Modern Warfare 4. The one thing that honestly I wanted to save to the very end absolutely makes no sense here out of this. They say that there's no new campaign story for Modern Warfare 4, even though out there are currently listings from Infinity Ward talking about positions open that focus on both multiplayer and single-player game design, but also the fact that this leak ends up saying there's not going to be a campaign storyline, but at the very end it says Modern Warfare 4 will be the finale of the series. So maybe I'm just more so focused on the campaign side of things in the Modern Warfare franchise, but to have a finale without a proper ending to the story while reintroducing the entire universe is kind of weird to me and doesn't really make much sense. So if you were to ask me, even from the get-go, this was 1000% fake, and if it's not something that you believe just my word on it or a lot of the other people calling it out potentially, even an industry insider, the Woo Lads, ended up saying that this is incredibly false and it's not anything to take seriously. And if you want some sort of credentials for them, they have leaked things from Black Ops 4, World War II, and I think even back to Infinite Warfare a little bit. They ended up having stuff, but a lot of what they've leaked has come true. It's either information that is out there from them well before it was ever announced or officially revealed, or actual content that is data mined or hints towards content that is coming. They've kind of had their hand in the cookie jar for the longest time. And to hear a source that's normally right on these kind of things say that it's, again, entirely false, well, that's again a little reassuring about this air quote leak. But on to the next thing though, talking about this, is that while this one isn't necessarily a leak or anything that's fabricated, it's something that is being a little blown out of proportion. If you go over to Infinity Ward's website, they actually got a redesign, which I gotta say is honestly really sick looking. I think this is one of the coolest of studio designs in the Call of Duty franchise ever, but it's something that they've redesigned this, put some new imagery and all that kind of stuff up, and the one image that pops up is what a lot of people were asking, is this a picture of Modern Warfare 4 in development? To which I'll say definitively, it is absolutely not. It's from the map Frost on Infinite Warfare. You can end up seeing that the user is also using what looks like the raw LMG with an optic of some sort with this. But a lot of people pointing to this maybe being something towards Modern Warfare 4, potentially some of the artwork in the backdrop of some of the other images detailing some things of the Modern Warfare series. But I'll be totally upfront with you, having been there, that kind of stuff is all there. It has been for the longest time. And even if you look back and go and inspect elements, some of the images, you can see that they're dated via file properties as of all the way back to December of 2014. So these are nothing new that give away any sort of hints or anything like that, though it might be cool to see something hidden in plain sight. Unfortunately, it's not the case. But while these other things are false, what about some things that are out there that are actually kind of interesting? Let's dig a little bit deeper and take a look at some things that may have been listed by Infinity Ward themselves to give us some little clues as to what we might be able to expect with the next outing. So if you take a look at it, there are actually 2 job listings. One has since been edited, but we'll talk about that no less and give you the information that still was at hand, but right now is seemingly being covered up for whatever reason. Pre-edit for a senior rendering engineer position, you would be able to see that there was mention of both multiplayer and single player rendering capabilities. People that are going to be working on both end of the spectrum here for this one and both main focuses of the game. But post-edit, there's still one other interesting part about this listing as well that does persist through all this, is that it mentions what a true next-gen console can achieve, which begs the question, is this going to be available on the Xbox 2 or PlayStation 5, whatever they are inevitably detailed as and called, as of maybe this holiday season and next year? Which in and of itself is honestly a super interesting topic to discuss, but we won't dive too deep into that. But rather interesting that they're talking about the next generation of consoles as well with this. But another job listing then lists something that is also quite intriguing. It ends up mentioning a third-person perspective animator, something that will be able to take a look at any third-person perspective and make things work. But Call of Duty is primarily a first-person shooter. That hasn't stopped Call of Duty in the past from going into a fun little third-person mode back in, I believe it was Modern Warfare 2, and we also saw that World War II, as of most recently, utilized third-person perspective with the social hub of the headquarters. Now, for whatever reason that is, we have absolutely no idea, unless they're bringing back some sort of third-person perspective game mode. Maybe it's just for cutscenes, maybe it's something that is a landing zone like a headquarters within the theory Modern Warfare 4, or potentially, if there is actually a Battle Royale portion of the game, maybe that has something to do with third person as well. Maybe we'll see a third person introduction with that, how very similarly to PUBG, we end up seeing a first person perspective, but also a third person perspective that is playable in the game. It's all rather interesting, and perhaps again, I'm digging a little bit deeper or thinking a little too hard on this topic, but it is interesting no less to take a look at, and of course, seeing 2 listings that might give some clues as to what's up next. Certainly always fun to look at least from my perspective. But as it stands right now, I wanted to at least get it off the chest that the 2 things that have been going around the most about Modern Warfare 4 are both entirely false. That's not something that points towards Modern Warfare 4, and of course there are going to be a lot of fakes coming out now, especially since the eyes are kind of on what Modern Warfare 4 might entail. But here's the thing. It is January 9th as of making this video. Whenever we talk about Modern Warfare 4, that is at the very earliest probably an October release, though I probably would expect them to go back to the November release date because whether they want to admit it or not, Activision, I think, pushed up that release date so it didn't conflict with Red Dead Redemption 2 sales. But I digress. Whether or not we get it in October or November, we're still months off from getting our first teasers, let alone an official reveal of the title and any gameplay or trailer that comes along with it. For a comparable time frame, the earliest that we've seen anything within the Call of Duty marketing period is in March. And again, I don't think that we'll get it even that early. I think that we'll probably see our first things come out around April or May, whether that be leaks officially or something that actually comes out from a Call of Duty account associated with either Infinity Ward or the brand itself. I don't expect any of that to come out until May, and of course, we'll see gameplay later on after that, and that's when we start the whole whirlwind of media to start the long process of hyping up the next release come this fall. So we're still way off from whenever this target would normally happen, so pretty much anything that you'll see until then, I'd say is probably fake. I'd be willing to put money on the vast majority of things you'll hear about Modern Warfare 4 coming out from anonymous sources being fake until that time. But ultimately, that's where we're gonna wrap it up. I just want to give you guys my thoughts on the entire situation at hand, but let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Do you guys want it to be Modern Warfare 4? Did you see through this stuff that has been circulating, and did you see it as false? Whatever it may be, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. But hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to drop a like down below, and of course, if you are new to the channel, make sure you guys subscribe so you don't miss a single thing regarding all things Black Ops 4, multiplayer, Blackout Zombies. We got you covered the best of updates, news, information, tips, tricks, all that good stuff, and from time to time, maybe even some Modern Warfare 4 content, or rumored content, that is. So if any of that interests you, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss a single thing. If you guys also want to follow me over on Twitter and Instagram, those are the best places to get connected with me outside of YouTube. Practically live on both those, so those links are down there in the description below if you guys want to check those out. For all that said and out of the way, thank you guys all so much for watching. Mine is an Espresso. I'll see you guys later. Take care, and peace.